Hello. Once again, welcome to Let's Talk Marriage. I am Pastor Larry with Let's Talk Marriage. All right. I hope everyone is doing well on today and in good health. Let me get right on into our subject today. Our subject today is the argument or the disagreement. We all have them. My wife and I, we just have the disagreement part. We don't get into the argument. But there's a lot of folks that get into the real serious arguments now. You know, the one where they calling each other names and making up some names to call them and bringing up stuff that happened years ago, and they thought everybody forgot about it. They ain't forgot about that. You remember the day and the hour and the time and the exact words. How? Why? You know what? Years ago, you would hear your grandparents tell you, or older, wiser people would tell you, never let the sun go down on your argument, which is the true thing. You shouldn't go to bed upset with each other, because when you start the next day, if you got to go to work or if you have to go to work the next day, you're going to bring all that to work. And sometimes when you go to church, you bring all that to church, and you get to church, everybody's having a good time, enjoying the service, and you sitting there still mad. And then a lot of times, one of y'all, if y'all both go to church together, one of y'all gonna stay at home, then you gonna still be mad, or they might show up late with an attitude, and and just go on for days. Y'all ain't talking, and one sleeping in one room, or one sleeping on the couch, and y'all just ain't talking to each other, but you're still in the same house. Come on, make some sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. So what you have to do is find a common ground and work the things out, talk it through without going to blows, and not physical. I hope not. Going to mental blows where you try to put the other party down, where you just got to find something that that's really hurt them. Your feet stink. Just going there with them. That's why you just like your mama. And stuff like that, and start bringing other people in. When you have an argument, just like Sally said. I should have listened to my boys. It sure was right. Come on, people. That's the right thing. Start bringing people in. Let me see. The sun going down on the argument. We covered that. Bringing up old stuff. Yeah, that's another thing that when people get in an argument, they make sure they find something that should have been forgotten about. Because when you forgive someone for something, you should never bring it up. And just because you're in the heat of argument, you shouldn't be bringing up old stuff, because that just makes the disagreement go longer and for days. And and don't be too proud to say I'm sorry. It don't matter who right or who wrong most of the time, because most of the time you get into an argument with your significant other or your spouse, it's usually something stupid. It's something stupid. Like you came home with a whole bunch of groceries and stuff. He didn't get up and help you bring it in after you told him you just going to get some milk. You come back with a whole bunch of stuff, and he's sitting up there in his easy chair and won't go out there and help you with it. And you bring it all in. You got to get your real dramatic. Them bags were heavy, and you ain't even lift a hand to help me. My mama said you were lazy. Oh, lazy sucker. He start calling each other names and stuff. Who you calling sucker? Just really get into it. And just saying just crazy stuff. And because he didn't help you bring the thing groceries in from the car. It's usually when you get into arguments, there's always something really silly when you think about it. When you look back on it, most of the times it's some crazy stuff you be getting arguments with. But then they turn serious, and then a lot of times you get to the point, because when you let this linger out, you even get to the point where you can't stand to hear your wife or your husband talk. As soon as they talk, you start thinking about what he did to you last week or 10 years ago. And you can't stand to see him talk, and then you don't want to be in the same room with him. You go on separate vacations. Spend some quality time with each other. What are you going on separate vacations? What was there was no reason to get married if you're going to go on separate vacation. It's different if you're going to, you had to run down and see about mama, or run down and see about a relative, and your husband, wasn't able to go along with you. That's different. But some folks be planning separate vacation. Oh, you on vacation? I'm going on vacation this week. Me and the girls. You can't always hang out with the girls. I mean, it's difference between having a women's night and you always hanging with the girls and wondering why your husband seemed to be drifting away, or your wife seemed to be drifting away because you hanging with the boys. Yeah, I'm hanging with the boys. Come on, grow up. Fellas, grow up. Women grow up too. When you marry, you're in this together, and you are one. So when you go on vacation, or at least if you're going to do that, make sure you plan one with each other. There's nothing wrong with doing that if you need to, get away sometime. But make sure you plan a trip or something together where you spending quality time, and not just going somewhere in the state or down the street. That's not no getaway. Getaway is when you leave the state and go somewhere where you don't have no relatives. That's a vacation. Sometimes if you go see relatives, then it's not really a vacation. You just go and visit. So go somewhere where you have no relatives. Like for instance, you want to take her to Hawaii. Most people don't have most of us don't have no folks in Hawaii unless they were in the military or something. Take them to Hawaii or south of France or something like that. Just take them to exotic places. Don't just go down south, because when you go down south, you go to see relatives, unless for instance you going to Florida or something like that, or the Carolinas. There's some people have relatives there, but even if you have relatives in the town, still make it a vacation. Because I know sometimes with my wife and I, when we go down south, we still make it a vacation. We go to we'll take a day where we go to the museums, go to the surrounding areas where there's attractions, get away from the family and just, do our own thing. And then you still have, you cover both at that time. You cover being with the family and being with each other. So it's very important to spend that quality time, because when you spend a lot of time with the person, then those arguments don't mean a hill of beans when you think back on it. When you think about some of the serious arguments you had, it escalated to seriousness because you drug it out and nobody wanted to say, I'm sorry. And please don't be too proud to beg. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Please, baby. Please, baby. Yeah. No, ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with begging. Especially if you done did something crazy. Admit it, say, yeah, I'm sorry, And we don't want to say, I'm sorry. And don't be making your move too soon. Some of these folks, they get in one argument and they want to leave. I'm getting out of this. No, sometimes you have to think about when you first got married or when you first met, how much you think about those times. When you think about those times, then you can come to a better conclusion. Because it's not worth it. A lot of these arguments are not. Life is too short. Spend time loving on each other. Walking and holding hands with each other. Walking together. Talking together. Somebody made that a song, didn't they? Yeah, just being with each other, And when you spend that quality time, it's a good thing to reflect back on the good times you had. Because, when you first got married, even if you have gone through a rough patch presently, think about the time when you weren't going through a rough patch. And please, folks, please don't let finances be the reason that you're breaking up with someone, or that causes a serious argument. Because generally, that's one of the main things that causes serious arguments is you arguing over finances and who spent what, and you're not where you want to be, and you've been wanting a house and you can't get a house, and one of you's off work, or got laid off or fired from a job. You still have to support each other. You have to support each other and work it out. And when you work it out and hang in there together and stay together and work things out, and don't, people, especially church folks, don't be too proud or too holy to get you some counseling. If it comes to that, you just, especially if you still love each other and you want to make it work, if just talking with each other is not working, bring in a counselor, see a Christian counselor, a family counselor, and just sit down and talk things out. And you'll be surprised what you discover in the marriage, because everybody don't know everybody from top to bottom. There's still some surprises you don't know about your spouse. A lot of times there's good things that you find out about them. So make sure, if you're going through that problems, make sure you get that counseling, especially if you had things that happened to you in the past and he had things that happened to him in the past. Make sure you get that family counselor or a Christian counselor or a marriage counselor. And you just sit down and, especially if whenever you're trying to discuss something is going to escalate into an argument, make sure you get that counseling, because when you get once you get counseling, then things will work out. You'll find that things will work out a lot better, and you'll bring out things that you'll discover things that you didn't wasn't sure, or the reason why your spouse felt this way about certain things, or the reason you feel certain ways about things. And you'll be surprised how many things that causes problems in a marriage that are from the past. That's why a lot of times you have to let the past go, especially the bad things. The good things, you hang on to those. Those are memories. Those are what you call memories. The good things that you have. And that's why you have to spend quality time, take those vacations. So sometimes you can sit down and go through the pictures and reminisce what you did on there. Oh, I would like to go back there, and the places that you went when you first got married, and the town, or sometimes you have to go back and look at the pleasant things in life instead of all the negative things, because negative things will never go away. So we hang on to the pleasant things, pleasantries in our lives, and make sure that we are, again, loving on each other. There's nothing wrong with walking, holding hands, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to spend quality time with somebody. Even if you don't get a chance to go out of the state, go for a drive. Take a drive and go somewhere. There's a lot of, usually whatever state you're in, there's spots that are really nice and real beautiful. It don't always have to be going somewhere to eat. We always do that. I'm going to go get something to eat. Yeah, make sure you go to places where, you can relax with each other and enjoy each other's company. Because when you enjoy each other's company, then when you have those disagreements, you'll figure out a better way to get around going into an all heated out argument. Because the simple discussion could easily turn into an argument, especially when you start bringing up stuff or you say something. And don't always say what's on your mind. Make some sense. A lot of times you have stuff on your mind. Keep it to yourself. Don't be saying what the first thing that comes to your mind, because that can get you in trouble. you sleep, you be in the, what they say, in the dog house. I don't know nothing about that because I never had to sleep on the couch or nothing like that, or in the other room, So make sure that you are listening to each other, for one thing. A lot of times we don't listen to each other. We want to be in charge, and when you're in a conversation, it goes both ways. So you have to listen to each other when you're speaking. And when you're arguing, let the other person finish before you start cutting in on them, because that's what make them mad, and that's when the voices get loud, because you cut in on them while they talking. Wait a minute, I wouldn't finish. Let me tell you something, Look, then you just get into a whole nother realm and take the argument from here to there. And it's unnecessary. And a lot of things that, again, that you're arguing over, is not even worth it. Just choose your battles. Don't argue over the silliest things. Some of this stuff, just let it go. Some of the stuff in your things that happened in the past, let it go. Let that stuff go. And enjoy each other, because while you have a chance to enjoy each other, because as you get older and things, you want to be able to have a real joyous relationship with your spouse, where you both can talk and sit down and laugh together and enjoy life together. So this is Pastor Larry telling you to chill. When it comes to those arguments, just keep it down. Don't get them voices raised. Don't start acting crazy with each other, and don't start bringing other folks in your argument and talking about what they said. And a lot of times folks that be talking about marriage ain't even got a man. So please don't be listening to them folks. And them folks that be talking about women ain't even got a wife. But they won't tell you how to do. Yeah, man, if I were you. No, as soon as they say that, just tune them out. Girl, let me tell you, girl. No, you know what I would do, girl? Because all of a sudden they're an expert, but they don't have no man in that, but they won't tell you. But now this is Pastor Larry getting ready to sign off. Now, keep love alive in your marriage. This is Pastor Larry signing off, telling you to have a wonderful day and rest of the year, wonderful year. You got the holidays coming up, so make sure we are together. Amen. All right, we're signing off. This is Pastor Larry with Let's Talk Marriage. Until we meet again on next Wednesday, God bless you.